So you know a feeling when you walk into a room and you instantly know who's going to irritate you. You know who is going to make the comment to be the smartest person in the room. You know the person who's going to just keep their mouth shut and then you're going to hear about it in an email later. Or there's times that when you hear feedback, your body tenses before your brain even processes the words. That's not intuition. That's your leadership lens at work. And until you see it, it's running your life. So I want you to think of this because as we think of the leadership lens, which is what I'm going to talk about today, this is the invisible filter that's running our life, whether we want it to or not. This is the invisible filter that we're driven by. And this is the idea, like everyone talks about mindset. This is actually the mindset. If you want to start shifting your mindset, because there's nothing set about your mind, you have the ability to grow. You have the ability to change the way you think, the way you respond instead of react. But the thing is that if you're using the same prescription glasses that you've worn forever, and you've worn them so long that you forgot that they were on their face. So everyone else has crystal clear vision, but you're seeing everything through a scratched and maybe even tinted lens from 20 years ago. You keep bumping into the same walls, having the same conflicts, hitting the same feelings, and you think the problem is out there. But really, you need a new pair of glasses. You need to go and just get your eyes re-diagnosed and get a new prescription so you can see clearly. And the kicker is that most leaders spend their whole careers trying to change what they're looking at instead of adjusting how they're seeing it. And what is easier to shift your perspective, shift the way you respond, or try to change other people? So we're going to talk today about this leadership lens, because this is the crux of the work that I've been doing. This is when I discovered these three parts that, again, there's nothing new, but however, when you put them together, they become a powerful drive, a powerful lens, a powerful filter that you can actually control way more than you realize. And so these three filters that are making decisions before you even know about it. So they're your core drivers. This part you can't change and you shouldn't try to. Some of you are wired for control, not want it, need it. And you've been shaming yourself for it the whole career. But if you understand it, then you can leverage it for your good, for your team's benefit. And so it's not that we want to change it. We want to use our strengths. We want to use the way that we're driven and these core drivers, core motivations, even our core fears. We can't change them, but we can leverage them. We can use them. We can account for them. So then there's the personality wiring. This is your autopilot. That defensive reaction in meetings, that's not you. That's your 30-year-old wiring that needs an upgrade. This is an area that most people will say they don't need to change, that they're stuck here. And in the reality, you're not. In the reality, we can change, we can come out of autopilot, we can flip that little switch off, and then we can start to change the way we react. And then the third one is our internal narratives, the stories we replay on repeat, and to the point where we're not even hearing the stories anymore. They are beliefs that we hold in our subconscious. And so these three filters, these three decision-making filters are actually the basis for everything. And if you really want to change, if you want to elevate and you want to up-level your leadership, you're going to understand these three things and how to use them. And again, the only one that it's the one that we try to change the most is the core drivers. And that's the one we shouldn't even try to. You can leverage it, but don't try to change it. You can up-level it. You can give yourself some tools to combat it if necessary. But if we understand it, then we don't feel guilty or shame because of the core drivers we have. We get to use them, and because our team even needs that. Even that control, that wired to need control, or even our teams need someone to step up and say, I've got this. So it's part of your energy, part of your life. And so it's not something that we should try to change. It's something we should try to leverage. The personality wiring, again, like that's changeable. We think it's not. We are the way we are. we are the way our foundation is. But so a lot of our personality wiring, just think of an old car that needs new spark plugs. Like you can't run on the same spark plugs over and over. We just need to update a few wiring. We need to our electrical. Sometimes you gotta put in new wires because one gets frayed, or we just need to make it a little stronger. This is not set in stone. And our internal narratives are ones that we have the most flexibility on. These are the ones that it drives us, whether we understand it or not. And this is the one that we can update and we can change the fastest. Because it's stopping you from hearing feedback. You're hearing every criticism from your past playing through today's conversation, right? So even when your boss or your leader or maybe someone on your team is giving you feedback, you're actually filtering it through a criticism and a story, a conversation that happened from years ago that your brain caught as this is going to keep me safe. All right. So what are your thoughts about these? I want you to think about it for a moment, because what are you Googling? What are you thinking about? Because I know that, and I know this because this is things that my clients have said to me is, why do I feel so drained after every meeting? I dread going to meetings. I'm tired of being the strong one. People knew the real me. Would they still follow me? And I'm successful, but I feel like a fraud. I feel like it's a front. I feel like it's so fragile. It's gonna crumble at any moment. So let's face it, like we're reading the 5th leadership book of the year, or in my case, then I'm the reader and maybe the 10th. And you're hoping that one of them is going to fix things. You've tried meditation apps, you've hired consultants, maybe even with a therapy, you're still having the same conflicts with your team, still feeling like you're performing instead of leading. And you're still exhausted from managing everyone else's emotions while hiding your own. And here's what nobody's telling you. You're not broken. Your lens is outdated. Your prescription glasses are scratched and cloudy, and it's time for an upgrade. And so I was trying to think of an idea. Think of a story about how someone's lens shifted. And I love stories of people who try something and fail, and then they come back better than ever. And not because I want to see people fall, but it also gives me permission when I fail, when I fall, I realize, okay, this is part of the process. The key is getting back up and moving forward. And so I was reading stories and I came across one, Reed Hastings. And I think I talked about this before because it's just Netflix. Everyone knows Netflix. And so everyone knows that Netflix beat Blockbuster. But the thing is that Reed Hastings, he was trying to be the smartest one in the room. He I believe that he was quoted saying, "I'm smarter than everyone." Don't quote me on that. I read that, but again, I don't know if that's true or not. But anyway, he had an idea. He decided to split the streaming and DVDs into 2 companies without asking anyone, and lost 800,000 subscribers in 1 quarter. The stock plummeted 80%. His lens shift, he realized that his need to be the smartest person in the room was killing innovation. He started what was it called? The radical candor culture, where anyone could challenge him. He started instead of trying to be the smartest one in the room, he wanted people to question him, because questions make things better. Just conflict on the team and challenging on a team does not make it dysfunctional. However, if you avoid conflict and you're trying to not challenge people, then your team becomes dysfunctional. But now, like, his lens shift, his perspective, the way he saw his role changed. And now Netflix is worth $240 billion with a B. Your lens is costing you something right now. The question is, are you willing to see it? Are you willing to change it? Are you willing to look at it for what it is? Because being a leader is asking us to grow. Times are shifting. Our world, our economy, our culture is shifting so fast. We are We're no longer just an American economy. We are a global economy. We have a global culture. We have a global outlook. And yet we still have our states have cultures, and our country has a culture, and our north and south and east and west. And there's so many differences. But looking at what's driving us on the inside, these subconscious, unconscious, these filters that we're making decisions through that we don't even know is happening, that's what's stopping your leadership growth. Excuse me. So, a quick check. When did you last change your mind in a meeting? If it's been a month or so, your lens is locked. Here's a test. Can you receive feedback without explaining yourself? No? Then that's your lens protecting you. You notice your shoulders right now. If they're up by your ears, your lens has you in a protection mode, even listening to this. And I say this because I used to carry, actually, I still carry all of my stress in my shoulders. And so there's times that by the end of the day, they're up by my ears. But now I consciously, like, when I notice them tense up, that's an indicator, like, okay, what's going on here? And I use that body awareness to ask me, like, those three, is it an internal narrative that is an old one that's coming back, or is there one that needs to shift? Am I reacting instead of responding? Are my core drivers being interrogated or activated or attacked? Or is the personality, do I know that I need to respond in a different way? But this is what everyone expects of me. So I respond in a way that I always have responded. These are things that we need to listen for, because it shows us, it is an indicator, it highlights that our lens may be more locked than we realize. And I'm going to just encourage you right now, because those three, you don't have to start by unlocking all three of those levels, all three of those aspects, simply by looking at your internal narratives. What does this say about me? What am I doing? What is this belief that I have? Why is it acting in such a protective mode? What am I protecting myself from? Do I need to be protected? And then some of you realize that some of you have realized that you've been having the same fight for 10 years with different people. It's not a coincidence. You leave job after job, or you fire people, or your teammates, your team members leave because of the same thing. And I'm working with a couple of leaders right now I'm working with their teams. But the problem is their leader, their manager, their director is actually very lens locked. And I started working with her to help her to start to break down the reasons why. And it goes back to her first job. It goes back to in high school. It goes back to further where she felt that she had to protect her voice. And the thing is, by protecting her voice, she was actually drowning out what she wanted to say. And so by not looking at our leadership lens, by not looking at these three core aspects, what is it costing you? Talented people leave because they can't work with your blind spots. Let's not even talk about your kids inheriting your unexamined patterns. Because our brain wants to automate everything, it goes directly into patterns so fast before we even realize it. We don't even ask it to. And our brain's, oh, this keeps us safe. I'll go ahead and automate this, and we will have this response after every conversation. One of the things that my daughter does now is when she knows that it's something I'm going to say no to, she's like, hear me out. She'll say it and say, just listen to my person, listen to this, and then decide. And so that was me looking at, oh, I do have a pattern here. Okay, I'll listen to you. Whether I say yes or not, but at least at that point, I'm out of my pattern of just rejecting, just not a good idea, goes against our rules, whatever. And how many times have you done that to your people as well? Your people, your office, before you walk into the meeting, who's going to challenge you, and you don't even let them talk? In the meeting, before you go into the meeting, who wants to be the smartest person in the room? So you discredit what they're saying because because it challenges something inside of you. How many times are you missing strategic opportunities because your lens only sees threat? And the compound effect, oh man, every decision filtered wrong creates more problems downstream. Every decision that we filter without addressing why, without addressing a deeper level, and it just creates more problems. You're not going to fix it later. It becomes more and more ingrained in our subconscious, and it becomes more and more and more of a pattern. And then even like sometimes ego gets on top of that, and you're protecting your pattern instead of what do you want in the first place. If you want to up-level your leadership, if you want to be the leader you're capable of, you want to grow your people, you want to grow and empower leaders within your team, you first have to look at yourself. You've got to look at, why am I acting the way I am? Why am I reacting? Where could I respond? What changes do I need to make? What are some old limiting beliefs that I have that I'm acting from? That my decisions are based from these core limiting beliefs that are no longer true and no longer serving me or your people. You want to be the leader who people want to follow, not have to follow. You want to create psychological safety without sacrificing excellence. You can both be powerful and peaceful. That's not a personality change, it's a lens adjustment. So I know you tried the fixes before. I know you've bought master classes on executive presence. You did that 360 review. You even hired a coach who told you just be more authentic. But authentic to what? To the lens that's been running your life? To the lie that someone's telling you sorry, I lost my train of thought there. To the lens that's running your life, that's like telling someone with blurry vision just to look harder. There we go. It doesn't work. Just think different. Just look harder. Just doing something doesn't work. Those surface solutions can't fix a lens problem. Surface solutions cannot fix a root issue. It's like putting premium gas in a car with a broken transmission. That fuel, even though it's premium and it's really good gas, the fuel isn't the issue. Working harder to prove yourself is exhausting and doesn't change the lens. Reading more books and adding knowledge to a faulty filter does not change your leadership. Avoiding conflict, the lens that creates it internally, it's still going to be there. The conflict is still going to be there until you look at the lens that is creating it. Positive affirmations over old wiring, like painting over rust, it's going to come back. We actually need to change the wiring itself. This leadership lens work is the foundation of everything that I do. It's the foundation of my Shine framework. It's the start of how you can grow and how you can look at the reason why you do what we do. This is the foundation of understanding what you really want and how to change it. It's the navigating with intentionality, because it's impossible when your lens is making unconscious decisions for you. You think you're choosing, but your lens already chose for you. When you make a decision, even before stepping into the action, it's already decided. And it's really hard to change it at that moment. Not impossible. We can do it. This isn't about adding another framework to your toolkit. It's about finally seeing why all those other frameworks haven't worked. It's about finally seeing why you do what you do and constantly do the same thing and feel guilty about it or want to change and are not able to. Because when we bring things to light, then they lose power over us. Then we get to choose our decisions. We get to choose what we want to do. We get to respond instead of react. We get to be the leaders we know we're capable of. And I could teach you these 3 filters right now. I can give you a worksheet. I can give you assessment. I can give you the whole system. But information without integration is just noise in your head. You don't need another model. You don't need someone who can see your lens when you can't. you don't need just more things to keep in mind. Who could show you exactly where it's costing you and how to adjust it without losing what makes you. If you're ready to stop managing your lens and start mastering it, let's talk. Let book a call, because every day you wait is another day of decisions made through the filter you didn't choose. And your next level isn't about doing more. It's about seeing differently. And it's about seeing through your lens. And the thing is that when you are operating from a clear, updated lens of who you are, what your core drivers are, and you leverage them instead of avoid them. Your personality wiring, you update to be the leader you want to be, the person you want to be, the characters you want to embody versus those old stories that we tell ourselves, which create our beliefs. When we see things differently, and we're able to see and bring those decisions to our conscious versus subconscious, our whole life changes, not just our leadership. So your leadership lens creates your reality. What reality do you want to live or lead? Right, friend? If you want to talk more about this, if you want to learn about these leadership lenses and just the 3-step, how to adapt these, how to bring them to light so that they lose power over you and that you can start making conscious decisions about your leadership, about your day, then get on a call with me. TamiMurrayCoaching.com/call. I guarantee that in this call, you will walk away with this. It's one of the reasons why I call it shine, is because when we bring light to it, it loses its power. We start to be empowered by it instead of being controlled by it. So get on a call, and I will talk to you soon. All right, friend, choose joy till joy chooses you. Bye for now.